What's up, Legendary Visions? How y'all doing today? Got a very special episode today. Got my boy Denzel with me. Management material, you know how it go. Yes, I definitely got legendary guests in the room today. I'm gonna give his own introduction.
Hey, how you guys doing, man? Glad to be on the show. Denzel Turner, Alcorn graduate of 2017, major in political science, minor in business. Glad to be here on the show today, man. Thanks for the invite. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. So I know you said you was a political science and you had a minor in business. So what are your thoughts and stuff coming out of college and going in there?
So coming out of college, ideally, I wanted to go to law school. I wanted to be a lawyer. Then lawyer and dabble in politics, which is I still plan on doing to this day. But how I got with where I am now with Sodexo is, so there was a guy walking around my campus with a three-piece suit on in the summer.
Yeah.
Him and his daughter showing his daughter around, and I'm like, so you need some help? And so, asked me if we need some help, if they want to help get a tour of the school. And he's like, yeah, man, no problem. I would love to. He said the campus has changed so much since I've been here. He graduated from Alcorn 35 years ago. Yeah. So showed him and his daughter around, gradually talked about myself, and he told me about himself and his daughter. And at the time, he was the vice president with Sodexo in the Mid-Atlantic region. So after they interviewed me, after the tour, he just gave me his business card and said, hey, man, if you need an intern after you graduate, here's my card, hit me up. So I emailed him the following next day, telling him thank you for the opportunity. It was great showing him around. And he offered me an intern on the spot.
Yeah. So tell us about your background. Where'd you come from and how'd you get to choosing Alcorn?
Well, from originally born in Memphis, then raised in Meridian, Mississippi. Got to Alcorn on a full golf scholarship, so I played golf at Alcorn. I had a couple of JUCO offers for baseball, but I just wanted to take the whole. Alcorn gave me the best opportunity that I didn't have to pay for school, so I didn't want to have that burden on my parents because they had 5 kids.
Yeah.
And we was fortunate enough to every kid received a scholarship to wherever they went. My oldest brother went to Gremlin. I have my two brothers and sisters after that went to Alcorn. Then it's me, and I have a younger brother who plays football at Rutgers.
Okay. Yeah, so how was that whole process of just, I know you say you chose off the golf scholarship, baseball-wise, how'd you really just know? Just you always had a passion for golf, or you just was...
Well, no, actually, man, I didn't start playing golf for my school until my senior year. My junior year, I got hurt playing baseball. So for rehab, my therapist had me playing golf just to get me back on my swing. And I fell in love with the game, man. The game teaches so much. The game is built off trust, integrity, and it's a self-sufficient game where if you cheat yourself, you're not hurting your team. You're only hurting yourself because your game is your game.
Yeah. So going to an HBCU, most everybody say you either going to the woods or going to the hood when you go to the HBCU. So how was your experience going there to Alcorn?
Well, Alcorn to me is just an academic resort. And when you think of a resort, you think of an island, on its own. So I looked at Alcorn as an academic resort, where they're saying is where character and knowledge matters. So that's how I look at going to HBCU. So I don't figure it as going to the woods, going to the hood, but it's all about how we guys like me and you, we can change that narrative. And we can control, like you and what you do now. We control what the media puts out. So I want to change the narrative for me. Just going to an academic resort where I can focus strictly on academics.
Yeah, I know one thing that's big with me. I feel like we are the resources that come to the school.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they say they get this and that for resources, I feel like that us as students are resources, or people that come back when they give back. So I feel like that we are the resources.
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. Actually, so I'm a part of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. Delta Kappa chapters were across at Alcorn. So actually, what me and my line, what we're coming up doing is, being a resource. So it's 11 of us. So we all put in, started off all putting in $50 and creating a scholarship, for their next brother who might not have it all. So we try to go up every year. Started with 50. Next year we'll do 75. Next year we're doing 100. And we're trying to push it up until one day we all want to be given $1,000 a piece. And just creating a scholarship. Alcorn, I think it's $6,500 for tuition and fees. So by all of us giving $1,000, we can take care of 2 brothers, for a whole year. So that's our goal with that, is just being a resource and giving back, no matter how young or old you are.
Yeah. So moving in, going into when you went into your internship. So how was that process for you? Did you have any more job offers maybe, or was Sodexo just your way?
Well, no. Well, I had a couple of different job offers. So when I was going to intern in Chicago with Sodexo, there was a company called Airmark, who is one of Sodexo competitors. We did a lot of events together, back to school bashes for a lot of schools. Sodexo had over 150 schools. but we did facilities, and Airmark did the food service for those 150 schools. So it was almost like working with your enemy almost, because they had to clean up cafeterias, but we provided the facilities and they served the food. So when they see me doing the intern, they just always ask about me, how my day was going, where I was going, and did I like Sodexo, and they offered me a job post my intern, and Sodexo also offered me a job in Chicago as an admin. But I really wasn't feeling that admin position, and nothing to discredit that position, but I felt like I was just more management material. So after talking to that guy that gave me the internship, kind of made him my mentor, and I constantly reached out to him, and he would ask me every week, what did you learn? And I would tell him X, Y, and Z, and he said, well, next week try to learn this, or next week, ask to do this training. So he put me in a position where I can get hired, in any region, and it just happened to be his.
Yeah. So one question I would like to say, during your first year, during your first internship, what did you learn?
During my first year, it was really just learning a lot about myself, man. So in Chicago, I was living in Indiana. So the biggest thing I learned was time management, man, like how to manage your time. Because, I had to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to catch a 7 o'clock train to be at work by 8:30. And making sure I don't, miss that train and go back home. Because, if you miss it, the next train will come to an hour. So you'll either be stuck in Chicago, or I could be late for work the next morning. So I think the biggest thing, just learn how to manage my time, and also learn how to manage my money, man. Because during that whole year, I didn't want to ask my parents for a dime. And that's one thing I told them during my graduation speech. I told them, I don't know what this internship is going to bring or teach me, but I know I'm not going to come back home. And nothing to, discredit home, but I really wanted to get out on my own, almost like a pursuit of happiness, and learn, what the world had to offer. So I would say that was the biggest thing I learned, how to manage my time and how to manage myself.
Okay. So how did you manage everything? I know you said you was involved in a lot of things. You were doing golf, you was heavily involved with SGA, you said your academics, your personal life. So how did you manage everything during your time at Alcorn?
At Alcorn, manage my time, man, using my iPhone, man, using my planner, managing my day. I always went to sleep knowing what I was gonna do, first thing in the morning. So I had a whiteboard in my room where I would note, I got this at 8, this at 7, practice at 6. So just doing a pattern of management, and something that I still use to this day at work. So every day when I go in for work, or every day when I woke up at Alcorn, I knew I had to get these 5 things done at these times. So just have to prioritize. Sometimes friends want to hang out in the parking lot or paint on the stoop, or sometimes we want to go to the hot spot. But the group of people I surrounded myself around, we didn't let each other do anything until the real work was done, because that's why we was at school.
Yeah. So going back over to your internship, and then when you got for your full-time position, like you said, Chicago, you was in Jersey, and a couple more places. Mm-hmm. So what was your favorite spot out of them?
So I was started in Chicago, then worked in DC. And then after DC, I was in New Jersey. But I would have to say, DC, I love DC because the atmosphere is just black excellence, man. Everywhere you went, there was someone black in a suit, male and female, lawyers, doctors, physicians, anything you name it, man. It was DC was like that. And one thing I did like about DC during my time there, I attended the Congressional Black Caucus, which is like a conference for black professionals. So I would say DC, but then again, once I got to New Jersey, I've never experienced New York. I've never went that far up north. So I would have to say New Jersey, because I live so close to New York. Literally was a 10-minute train ride away. I could see the skyline from my apartment. And plus, it's just crazy, man, how God works. That same year, my little brother, he committed to Rutgers in New Jersey, which is a Big Ten football school. So I was able to be there and support him. And he wasn't there alone, so we always had each other. So I would say New Jersey, just because New York, and I was able to be there for my little brother and go to all his football games.
Okay, so how did you manage going from like a small town down in Chicago to this big town in Jersey, and then being 10 minutes away from New York?
Just knowing while I'm there, never not getting lost in the sauce, man. Staying focused. Luckily, I had a great woman by my side who kept me on track, who kept me focused during my whole time there. There'll be times where, I wanted to go to New York, every weekend. And so these don't you got to get X, Y, and Z done. So it's always good to have a good partner, whether it's your mom, your dad, your friend, your brother, fiance, wife, anybody to help keep you on track. So just really her keeping me focused up there, man, and knowing why we was there, and everything's so expensive up there too. So you have to control what you do.
Yeah.
Because I was staying in a 1-bedroom apartment that cost $2,500. So limiting myself and knowing my budget, and it just going at it every day, man.
For sure. So the next thing I want to ask you is saying, as far as you working your way up through the company, working your way up the ladder, how's that for you?
It's going good, man. So Sodexo, it's a large company, man. A lot of people don't know we're in 82 different countries. It was actually founded in France. So we have different sectors. We got schools, K-12 schools, universities, hospitals, senior living homes, universities, arenas. So it's a large spectrum of things that they do, and they have this internal group called ALF and Sodexo. It's almost like a Sodexo fraternity, almost, I guess you would say, and it's called a African American Leadership Forum. So every year they have a conference with ALF, and it's literally all the black executives from Sodexo. So when I go to those type of places and those type of conference, man, I try to take 500 business cards with me, and I try to sit down with every high executive that I come across. They have this great event called the Barbershop Talk that they do every year. So when I get in those settings, I'm typically always the youngest guy in there. I try to, I ask an intriguing question that makes people want to gravitate towards me and get to know me. So eventually, I wasn't running behind them. I had VPs and CEOs asking me, "Hey man, great question. What is your name again? What do you do? Where you from?" So just putting myself in a position to become a player.
Yeah. So I actually like a quote Warren Buffett said. He said he never likes to be the smartest person in the room. He'd rather be the dumbest person. Because he said if you're just a dumb person with good questions, you always learn. Facts. So I always ask questions, man, and I never try to be the smartest person in the room. I really just try to listen and take notes and follow up with people, man. I think that's the biggest thing that got me where I am today, man. Whenever someone gave me their business cards, they'll give me their card, and I'll write down some of them on the back of their card that we talked about. And then the next day I send them an email, like for instance, let's say you give me your business card, and the next day I say, "Hey Trey, it was great meeting you, talking about ways to become a businessman, or ways to become a real estate, or ways to invest in stock. I would like to hear more. I would like to hear more about that." And that person, would give them a chance to follow back up with you and create the relationship and give them a reason to talk to you. And then it start off with that one thing, and then they can be a VP in California or a manager in California, and they might be hiring one day, and then they say, "Hey Denzel, how you doing? We're hiring for this position." So always just trying to follow with people, man, and put yourself in a position where you can, like I said, just be a player. Yeah, kind of notes like when we was actually face to face like conferences and stuff, and like job fairs out here. I go watch other students and what they'll do just as far as their networking and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people be shy and timid as they're coming up, not having no questions. They're like, what's the positions in the league? So it made you just start thinking like this to go actually have something to talk about, have good questions. How you prefer that?
I mean, this is just the way I was brought up, man. My dad, he's somebody I look up to as a businessman. So something about my dad, he was raised without a right arm. So, his whole life, he was labeled handicapped, but he never let that stop him. So he always taught me, and he was an English major, so he always taught me how to speak loud and ask questions and be assertive, and like hit my heart to say it with your chest. So he really taught me how to become a businessman. And my mom, I get my charisma from her when it comes to being a people person. So I would say that, man, my mom and my dad, just the way they raised me, and they kept me heavily involved in stuff, in church, community service, Boys and Girls Club, to ways to put myself out there and just really learning those small things and just keeping it with me and those lifelong lessons, man.
So do you listen to like podcasts or maybe reading type of books or anything?
I do read. I'm just now getting into the podcast. One of my friends, he just put me on the More Than an Athlete podcast.
Yeah.
So that's actually the first podcast I ever listened to, and I just listened to it for the first time about 2 days ago. So I'm looking to get more into that.
Yeah. So coming over to the next section of the show, I just want to ask you like a couple quick questions I ask everybody at the end of the show.
Okay.
Fatal 4. So the first question I always ask anybody is, if you walked outside and somebody cut you $1 million check, what would you do?
Oh man, somebody cut me $1 million check. Out of that $1 million, I probably put $800,000 in savings. The other $200, I would pay off a car, probably get a house, and start looking to invest in, man, and how I can invest in the communities that I live in, and just build, build my net worth and build the city net worth, and just building the black dollar, man. We'll probably invest in some black-owned companies as well, just to make it bigger than me.
Yeah. So the next question would be, if you can go network with any one person, who would that be?
If I can network with anyone personally, it's a good question. Probably cliche, but I'd probably say Barack Obama, man. Just as a guy like that, who the first black president, and who endured so much hatred, and he was working with a cabinet in the Senate who voted everything no. So I would want to know how he, when you go in a room full of Republicans and they're gonna say no to everything, how did you still have the heart to ask the question to do it, or how did you still have the heart to write a policy that may take you 10 months and it still get vetoed down? And how did you have the courage to go in day after day and continue to go hard at what you do?
Yeah. Third question would be, if you can go anywhere in the world, where would you go and why?
If I go anywhere in the world, I would love to go to Africa just to see the lifestyle, and I think going there would be a humbling experience to anyone. Just going to Africa, humbling myself, seeing how they live and the little resources they have, and come back to America and finding a way with $1 million to give them resources.
All right. So my last question is, if you can go back and talk to your 17, 18-year-old self fresh out of high school, what would you tell them?
Keep going, man. Don't give up. Tell myself to eat more healthy, save, invest, and don't take life for granted, because you never know when your last day is.
All right. Now I want to go into the bonus section real quick. I know you said you was interested in stocks and stuff like that, and had some more ventures.
Mm-hmm.
So what are some of the other ventures, and how are you playing your stocks at the moment?
Stocks. Well, today is actually I checked out my stocks today on Webull. That's the app I use. So today is a red day, which means a lot of stocks is going down, and they're becoming cheaper to buy. So on the red days, it's when you want to buy the most stock, because you get it for a cheaper price. And then about a week when it goes green, your money will triple and quadruple up. So if you're doing stock, when you see those days when it's red, don't get down. But those are the best days to invest in.
Yeah. And do you have any other ventures you're?
Yes. So looking to get in real estate, and my fiance has a business called Protected Curls, where she make natural hair care products for men and women. So really want to help her out and expand her product. And hopefully one day, for her birthday, I can buy her a store, okay. So she won't have to, do sell pictures to Walgreens or Sally's and hair companies like that. She can actually have her own hair store where she can get other young women and young men to sell their products in her store.
Okay. And then last thing, let everybody do, if you want to drop in your social media handles, or if she have a website or any type of social media for her.
Yes. So you can check her out at chill_peel or Protected Curls on Instagram.